Have you ever walked into a bathroom and felt a chill down your spine, a stomach-churning smell, and an instant urge to run away? Imagine a place where every detail screams abandonment, a space that should be for hygiene and comfort, but has transformed into a horror movie set, especially for someone who already has their fragilities. Pay attention, because what we are about to reveal today might be closer to your reality or that of someone you know than you imagine. Prepare for a visual and sensory journey through a place many prefer to ignore, but which is crucial for human dignity. In this video, we will delve into the shocking details of a neglected elderly person's bathroom, addressing 7 crucial points that turn this environment into a true nightmare. We want you to see, feel, and reflect on the importance of a safe and clean environment for our elderly. If you care about this topic, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next videos, and tell us in the comments, what was the worst bathroom you've ever seen? Your experience can help raise awareness for more people. Chapter 1: Grimy Toilet with Dark Stains. A grimy toilet is, without a doubt, one of the first and most shocking signs of neglect in a bathroom. It's not just superficial dirt, but layers of accumulated grime that have solidified, forming crusts and incrustations. The dark stains, ranging from shades of brown to almost black, indicate the presence of fungi, bacteria, and organic residues that have proliferated without interruption. It's a sight that immediately causes revulsion and makes us question the hygiene conditions of the place. These stains don't appear overnight. They are the result of weeks, perhaps months, without proper and deep cleaning. The lack of regular brushing, the accumulation of calcium and other minerals present in the water, combined with constant humidity, create the perfect environment for the growth of these microorganisms. For an elderly person, this situation is even more serious, as contact with a toilet in such conditions can lead to urinary infections and other health problems, given that their immune system may be more fragile. Besides the disturbing visual aspect, the grimy toilet exudes a characteristic odor of dirt and dampness, which mixes with other unpleasant smells in the environment. This smell becomes omnipresent, impregnating the air and making breathing difficult. For the elderly person who needs to use this bathroom daily, the experience becomes degrading, affecting not only their physical health, but also their emotional and psychological well-being. Dignity is seriously compromised in such an unhealthy environment. The rough and porous surface created by the incrustations makes cleaning even more challenging. Common cleaning products may not be sufficient to remove the ingrained dirt, requiring effort and specific products for disinfection. The lack of access to these products, or the physical inability of the elderly person or their caregivers to perform deep cleaning, contributes to the perpetuation of the problem. It's a vicious cycle of dirt and neglect that worsens over time. A toilet in these conditions is not just an aesthetic problem. It is a focus of contamination. Microbes can be easily transferred to hands and other body parts, increasing the risk of illness. For the elderly, who often have reduced mobility or rely on support to stand up, the risk of contact is even higher. The simple physiological need to use the bathroom transforms into a dangerous and disrespectful act to the person's health and life. Chapter 2: Shower with Slime and Moldy Shower Curtain. Next to the toilet, the shower area with slime and the moldy shower curtain compete in repulsion. Slime, that viscous and slippery layer that forms on the walls, floor, and shower accessories, is a clear sign of excessive humidity and inadequate ventilation combined with the absence of regular cleaning. Its coloration can vary from a moss green to darker tones, depending on the microorganisms present. Slime is not just disgusting to touch and look at. It also represents a serious risk of falls, especially for an elderly person with reduced mobility. A simple step on a slimy area can result in a dangerous slip, with serious consequences such as fractures and bruises. Bathroom safety is fundamental for the autonomy of the elderly, and the presence of slime compromises this safety in an alarming way. In parallel, the moldy shower curtain displays dark and irregular spots, usually black or greenish, that spread across the fabric or plastic. Mold is a type of fungus that thrives in humid and poorly ventilated environments, such as the inside of a shower stall. Besides the unpleasant visual aspect, mold releases spores into the air that can be harmful to health, especially for people with respiratory problems or allergies, common conditions in the elderly. The characteristic smell of mold, damp and earthy, contributes to the unhealthy atmosphere of the bathroom. This odor can spread throughout the environment, making the bathing experience even more unpleasant and oppressive. For an elderly person who often already faces difficulties with personal hygiene, having to do so in an environment with such a foul odor can be extremely demotivating and depressing. The combination of slime and mold in the shower and on the shower curtain not only indicates neglect in cleaning, but also points to structural or ventilation problems in the bathroom. Excessive humidity needs to be controlled to prevent the growth of these microorganisms. To ensure a healthy and safe environment for the elderly, it is essential to invest in regular cleaning, good ventilation, and, if necessary, repairs to plumbing facilities to prevent leaks and excessive humidity. Chapter 3. Wet and slippery floor with hair and dirt. The wet and slippery floor, covered with hair and dirt, completes the scene of danger and neglect in the neglected elderly person's bathroom. Constant moisture coming from shower splashes, leaks, or simply from the lack of proper drying after use turns the floor into an invisible trap. The sticky feeling underfoot is an immediate alert to the imminent risk of a fall. Hair strands scattered on the floor, often tangled with dust and other debris, not only contribute to the poor appearance of the environment, but also increase the feeling of dirt and neglect. The lack of a cleaning routine that includes the removal of these residues allows them to accumulate, making the environment even more unsanitary and reinforcing the impression of abandonment. In addition to hair, other types of dirt, such as pieces of dried soap, empty hygiene product packaging, and even small dropped objects, may be present on the wet floor. This combination of moisture and solid residues makes the surface even more slippery and increases the risk of trips and falls, one of the greatest dangers to the safety and health of the elderly. The inability of the elderly person to move safely on such a floor can generate fear and insecurity, leading them to avoid using the bathroom or to rely excessively on the help of others. This loss of autonomy can have a significant impact on their self-esteem and quality of life. A safe and clean bathroom is essential to preserve the independence of the elderly, to prevent the floor from becoming a constant danger. It is crucial to implement measures such as the installation of grab bars, the use of non-slip mats, and ensuring proper drying after using the shower or sink. A regular cleaning routine that includes the removal of hair and other dirt, in addition to floor sanitization, is fundamental to creating a safe and risk-free environment for the elderly. Chapter 4. Foggy mirror with grease stains. The foggy mirror with grease stains is a detail that, although it may seem minor, contributes significantly to the feeling of neglect and abandonment in the elderly person's bathroom. A mirror in such conditions hinders clear vision and prevents the elderly person from performing their personal hygiene tasks with precision. Constant fogging, a result of humidity and lack of ventilation, combined with greasy fingerprints, toothpaste, or other product marks, turns the mirror into a visual barrier. The presence of grease stains and dry residues on the mirror suggests the absence of a basic cleaning routine. It's as if the entire environment is screaming for attention, and the mirror, being one of the focal points of the bathroom, amplifies this message. The inability to see one's own reflection clearly can affect the elderly person's self-esteem and their perception of personal hygiene, as they cannot verify if they are truly clean. For an elderly person, the sight of their own reflection in a dirty mirror can be disheartening. The distorted and blurry image can reflect the state of neglect of the environment reinforcing feelings of neglect and sadness. The mirror should be an ally in the self-care routine, allowing the elderly person to get ready and feel good, but in these conditions, it becomes a constant reminder of the lack of attention. Cleaning a mirror is relatively simple, requiring only a damp cloth and a glass cleaner, or even water and vinegar. The lack of this basic task indicates a deeper neglect, perhaps on the part of caregivers who do not dedicate enough time, or due to the elderly person's own inability to perform the cleaning without proper support. This highlights the importance of a keen eye for the small details that make all the difference in quality of life. A clean and crystal clear mirror, on the other hand, brightens the environment and contributes to a sense of clarity and well-being. It allows the elderly person to see themselves, take care of themselves, and maintain their dignity. Attention to these small but important details is an indication of care and respect for the elderly, transforming an environment of abandonment into a space of self-care and comfort. Chapter 5. Damp and sour-smelling towels everywhere. One of the most noticeable and unpleasant signs of a neglected bathroom is the presence of damp and sour-smelling towels everywhere. It's not just a forgotten towel, but multiple towels strewn over the sink, toilet, floor, or improperly hung, with no ventilation to dry. This constant humidity and lack of hygiene create the perfect environment for the proliferation of bacteria and fungi, which are responsible for the foul and characteristic odor of mold or sourness. The sour smell of the towels impregnates the bathroom air, contributing significantly to the overall unbearable odor of the environment. For an elderly person who often has a more sensitive sense of smell or may be more susceptible to respiratory problems, this constant odor can be extremely irritating and harmful. In addition to discomfort, the use of towels in these conditions can lead to skin infections and allergic problems, worsening the elderly person's health. The presence of dirty and damp towels scattered around the bathroom is a strong indication of a lack of organization and washing routine. Towels should be changed and washed regularly, ideally after each use or, at most, every 2 days, depending on the frequency of use. When this doesn't happen, dirt accumulates and humidity allows microorganisms to multiply rapidly, turning something that should be a hygiene item into a source of contamination. The sensation of drying one's body with a damp, sour-smelling towel is extremely unpleasant and compromises the feeling of cleanliness after bathing. For the elderly who seek comfort and well-being in their daily routine, this experience is degrading. The lack of clean and dry towels available demonstrates a fundamental failure in the care and attention to the person's dignity. To reverse this situation, it is essential to establish a strict routine for changing and washing towels. Additionally, it is important to ensure that there is an adequate place to hang them after use, allowing them to dry completely. This not only eliminates the bad smell, but also prevents the proliferation of microorganisms, contributing to a hygienic and comfortable environment essential for the health and well-being of the elderly. Chapter 6. Dirty toothbrush and toothpaste without proper placement. The sight of a dirty toothbrush and toothpaste without proper placement is an alarming detail that reveals the depth of neglect in the elderly person's bathroom. The toothbrush, which should be an instrument of oral hygiene, often has worn and stained bristles, dried toothpaste residue, and in extreme cases, even traces of mold at the base. The lack of an appropriate holder or toothbrush stand leads them to be thrown onto the sink in direct contact with contaminated surfaces. The toothpaste, in turn, appears with a dirty and haphazardly squeezed package, without the cap or with a grimy opening. Dried toothpaste residue accumulates on the nozzle and sides of the tube, making it unpleasant to touch and use. This neglect of basic personal hygiene items indicates a complete disregard for the elderly person's oral health, which is fundamental for overall health. When these items do not have an adequate place, such as a clean cup or a specific holder, they are exposed to contamination. bacteria and germs present in the bathroom environment, especially in an unsanitary environment, can easily transfer to the toothbrush and toothpaste and then be carried directly to the elderly person's mouth. This significantly increases the risk of oral infections, gingivitis, and other dental problems. For an elderly person who may have motor or cognitive difficulties, the organization and cleanliness of their personal hygiene items are even more crucial. The lack of a defined place for the toothbrush and toothpaste not only contributes to disorder but can also hinder access and daily use, leading to neglect of oral hygiene. A person's dignity also involves the ability to keep themselves clean and healthy. It is essential that the toothbrush and toothpaste are kept clean and in an airy, protected place, away from contamination. A simple toothbrush holder or clean cup can make a big difference in preventing oral diseases and promoting the health of the elderly. Attention to these small, yet important, details reflects care and respect for the person, ensuring that even the most basic acts of hygiene are performed safely and with dignity. Chapter 7. Foul and persistent odor, making the environment unbearable. The culmination of all the neglect mentioned so far is the foul and persistent odor that transforms the bathroom into an unbearable environment. This smell is not just unpleasant. It's a complex mixture of all the elements of dirt, mold from the shower, the sourness of the towels, moisture ingrained in the toilet and floor, and even urine or fecal residues that haven't been properly cleaned. The result is a dense and suffocating atmosphere that offends the sense of smell and generates immediate repulsion in anyone who enters the space. The persistence of this odor indicates that the problem goes beyond a simple lack of punctual cleaning. It is a symptom of chronic neglect, of a prolonged absence of hygiene and ventilation. The smell sticks to surfaces, fabrics, and even skin, becoming a hallmark of the environment. For the elderly person, who spends a large part of their time in this space, the impact on their quality of life is immense, transforming a place of necessity into a constant source of discomfort and shame. This foul odor is not just a matter of comfort, it can be an indicator of health risks. The presence of unpleasant smells is often associated with the proliferation of bacteria, fungi, and other microorganisms that release volatile compounds. Continuous inhalation of these odors and airborne particles can worsen respiratory problems, cause allergies, and even impact the elderly person's immune system. The lack of adequate ventilation further aggravates the situation. A bathroom without openable windows or a properly functioning extractor fan allows moisture and odors to remain trapped in the environment, intensifying the suffocating sensation. Even if some superficial cleaning is done, the absence of air circulation prevents drying and dissipation of smells, perpetuating the problem. Breaking the cycle of foul odor requires a complete intervention. Deep cleaning of all surfaces, elimination of mold and slime foci, regular changing of towels, and especially improved ventilation of the environment. The dignity of an elderly person includes having a clean, safe, and breathable space. The foul odor is not just an inconvenience. It is a silent cry from an environment desperately in need of care and attention. Conclusion: we have reached the end of our journey through a scenario that, unfortunately, is the reality for many: the neglected elderly person's bathroom. We've seen in detail how a grimy toilet, a slimy shower, a slippery floor, a dirty mirror, sour towels, disorganized personal hygiene items, and a foul odor can transform an essential space into an environment of risk and degradation. Each of these points, by itself, is already concerning, but the combination of all of them creates an atmosphere of abandonment that profoundly affects the physical, mental health, and dignity of those who use it. It is crucial that we reflect on the importance of a clean, safe, and welcoming environment for our elderly. Taking care of these details is an act of love, respect, and responsibility. Small acts of cleaning and organization can make a gigantic difference in the quality of life of an elderly person, ensuring that their hygiene space is a refuge of comfort and not a source of danger and discomfort. Remember, a well-maintained bathroom is a sign that the elderly person is being cared for. If this video touched you and made you think about someone's reality, or if you have experienced a similar situation, please leave a like and share this content with your friends and family. We want to spread this message of awareness and care. And of course, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss more important videos like this. Leave a comment below and tell us, what other simple actions can we take to improve the lives of our elderly at home? Your participation is fundamental for us to build a more attentive and supportive community.